Hey guys, Monkey Ninja here. Welcome back to Metroid Zero Mission. Last part we started off in the game, and in this part we're going to go ahead and get a couple of upgrades. Now, to kind of clarify a point, I'm not actually going to 100% this game, because getting a couple of the power-ups is quite annoying. Quite annoying indeed. As you can see that little speed booster there, yeah, if you wanted to power up entirely in this game, you'd have to do quite a few tricks, let's just say that require very specific timing.
Doesn't using I guess we'll get to that when you actually get the power up. I'm not gonna say anything about it. But one thing I do want to talk about is the fact that the physics in this game are actually very different compared to that of other Metroid games.
Yeah, in this game they actually made Samus's jump a lot less floaty. Like if it came for the Super Metroid game, and I'm not sure if Metroid Fusion actually shares the physics because it's been a while since I played that game. But yeah, it might be a little difficult to kind of get used to the jump arc, or at least it is for me.
It feels kind of heavy, and I mean, Fusion didn't feel like, I guess, this heavy compared to this game. You felt like you had more floatiness in Fusion, but this game just kind of drops you, really.
Yeah, it would take a little getting used to, especially in some places that require precise platforming. I mean,
like
thankfully, well, that's not that precise, but you'll see later. Like, here, you can mess up on platforming a lot, but the game's pretty forgiving. It's not like you'll fall into the bottomless pit.
True.
But the thing about this game, actually, it's funny you mentioned Fusion. This game actually runs off the Fusion game engine.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that shouldn't be too surprising to me. It does seem like it has a bit of similarities, but...
Yeah, and when it came to development, the team behind most of the Metroid games, if not all the Metroid games, 2D-wise, R&D1, they were asked by Nintendo to go ahead and recreate a port of Super Metroid for Game Boy Advance, kind of like Nintendo did with Super Mario World and Link to the Past and a couple other games. And the head director, or the head producer of the Metroid franchise, has been involved in almost every Metroid game. I think his name's Yoshio Sakamoto, something to that effect. I'm sorry if I butchered that. He decided to create this game over a port because he felt that Fusion was too much of a departure from the original Metroid games. So he kind of wanted to reimagine the first game.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Which, as much as I love Super Metroid, I'm kind of glad that he did, because I mean, I'd rather have a newer game or something more drastically different than just a port.
Yeah. Well, that and I can appreciate this game more than I can the original. Just because I can play this more than I can the original.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, but he wanted to revisit the story and just kind of go back to the roots. And they had quite a bit of things here. And here we're introduced to Mother Brain.
Mother Brain.
Pretty intimidating intro.
Thank God it doesn't have lips like a stupid Nintendo cartoon.
Or in a big Captain N. That Nintendo cartoon.
Yeah.
Also has a much better voice, too. I wonder what that could be.
Yeah, Futurama reference for those not in the know. Great TV series, or used to be at least. It's actually in danger of being cancelled again. I actually think it is going to be cancelled again.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I guess it's not that surprising, but eh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a series that should have revived. They should have just not cancelled in the first place. Because that's when Matt Groening was still... Him and his crew were still, like, at the top of their game. Now they're having trouble, keeping their Simpsons franchise up and running. But that's a different topic altogether.
For sure. We are in Metroid, and you're taking the elevator up. After taking it down. Wait, why? You went down, and now you're going back up. Where are you heading to right now?
To get a different power-up. It's not the same elevator.
Yeah, I know it's a different elevator.
Here we're introduced to water physics, which until you get a specific suit, which you don't get towards the end of the game, you're actually very, very,
Overcumbered.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of neat how, like, different games, especially platformers, they have very different, approaches to water physics. Like the Mega Man franchise, I don't know, it just seems like they can't universally agree on something, or it depends on the game.
There's one thing they can't agree on. In most cases, they're usually a bitch.
Yeah, water levels. You'll hate them.
That or ice, or both.
It's always fun when a game introduces both physics into, one dungeon or one sequence.
You know.
And here we have unknown items with ominous music.
So here's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. She gets an item, she can't scan it, it's not compatible with her suit, but she takes it with her anyway.
This is what she's a hoarder.
I mean, what if it was, something dangerous? What if it was like some kind of virus?
What's not to trust about a decrepit old statue that looks like a bird monster that actually tries to kill you in Super Metroid?
Just chorizo.
Chorizo.
That's great. No, but I have to say, she has to be a hoarder at that, judging by that.
I actually really like the way the background looks in this section. Kind of a shame because you don't really wander around it too much.
Yeah. This area is criteria, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's a criteria when you went up the elevator.
Yeah, I didn't see that exactly. Power grip.
And now Samus has developed a bit of common sense and has discovered the ability to hold onto a ledge.
Something she naturally learns at Metroid Fusion, or already knows in Metroid Fusion.
I mean, I guess it would be hard to grab ledges when your other arm is an arm scan.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and this game actually has one of the more popular physics for sequence breakers, which is the wall jump, which the timing's a lot more strict in this game, and since your jump is not floaty, it's a little more forgiving to try and do it, but if you do it enough in certain areas, typically you can actually sequence break to speedrun this game. And that's something that the Metroid franchise has always encouraged since the beginning, speedrunning, going through as quickly as you can.
And
here we have some. It's a ship.
I actually like wall jumping better in this game, just because I feel like, in comparison to Super Metroid, I feel like I can get a pattern more with this game than I can with Super Metroid.
Well, I guess considering since it's certainly probably faster when you're going up and everything, and I'm not too sure about that. I feel it's better just because I have a visual guide right there of like you bounce off of it. When it's on this game, you just go up and then up and then up.
Yeah.
So it's the same method though, of course. So are you gonna show it off at all?
Oh, yeah, I do the wall jump quite a few times. I just do it when it naturally comes to me or when I want to get access to something.
Oh, okay.
But to get certain power-ups, it's mandatory to actually use it.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, and as you can see the backgrounds, the art direction they took here is they actually made it a comic book style, which is kind of unique, but like in this instance right here, kind of might look a little unnatural, in my opinion. Or at least in my opinion.
The colors mix well.
It's just the way the foreground looks in comparison to the background, in my opinion. Like, if they made the foreground kind of like, Comic Zone type art style, I think it'd blend a little better.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that missile upgrade is actually accessible before you got the power grip. And the way you get it is another little gimmick that Metroid series is kind of famous for, which they don't use it too much in this game actually. But you can use morphball jumps, and if you time it correctly, since you can lay 3, you can time it to where morphball bombs will go ahead and continue to boost you upwards.
I hate morphball bomb jumping.
Yeah, it can get a little annoying if you're not used to the timing, but yeah. In other Metroid games, they actually do really rely on that gimmick to get you upgrades.
Metroid Prime.
What's that?
Can you kill those things that were like spitting out all of their bombs or something?
The thing on the floor.
I don't think so. Well, actually you can, but you need a certain upgrade. You need a speed booster.
Oh.
I don't think you can do it any other way. And here's an instance to where, the physics will really jump out at you.
Oh.
Or at least in my opinion.
Oh, no, that makes sense. You drop here. Well, it's a little more specific, I suppose. If you screw up, then...
Yeah.
I hope you're ready for a hot bath.
And as you can see, the door behind me closed. Different color-coded doors can be opened by different types of upgrades. I don't have what I need to open that door yet, so I'm going to have to find a different way to get out of this room.
Oh,
But as you can
actually,
see,
yeah.
I just got the ice beam here, which actually freezes enemies and is actually really, really useful. But go on.
So something different in this game from the original Metroid and Super Metroid is that it only takes one missile to open a door. When in the other games it took 5.
Yeah, that could get quite annoying.
I mean, I guess doors stopped being so stingy.
Or they became more sensitive.
Yeah, that's true.
And here you see the central gimmick of the ice beam. Obviously, it freezes enemies. But one of the great things about this game is when you get different types of beams, which you will, like different types of attributes with beams, they actually stack on top of one another instead of you just having to choose one beam, which is actually one of the limitations of the Nintendo version. In the Nintendo version, you receive 2 beams, but you only get one at a time. So if you pick the wrong beam and you get later in the game, you're going to really, really regret it. Really regret it.
One other thing that you've been showing and everything that this actually kind of calls out to me now that I'm noticing as a difference between this and the original. It's not, you mentioned you can duck and shoot, but you can also shoot diagonally, and that's very helpful.
Yeah, a lot of improvements over original.
I mean, I guess apparently in this rendition, Samus decided to take it.
To think a little more. Well, that's a little debatable when you get later in the game and you'll see what she does. But that's for later. Oh yeah, and this little missile right here. A little tip I have for if you're trying to 100% the game, keep an eye on your map, even if you're not really lost, because you'll see a little circle if there's an upgrade within that room. And if there's a circle there, well, I mean, obviously there's an upgrade in that room, so you have to go ahead and keep looking around and think, okay, where could this thing be hidden?
Shoot everything, I guess, is really the thing to do.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Well,
That's
for
actually
me,
one of the main reasons. Because one of the other things about power bombs is it's not only used for specific areas that you can only access with power bombs, but if you use a power bomb in the room, it'll uncover everything that you need to open up something.
yeah, and the power bomb is an upgrade we'll get later on in the game, which basically attacks like everything in the room. But yeah, in the previous games, they actually had X-ray visors, which actually showed you like what kind of walls were fake and whatnot, which is actually a really useful item. But this game sadly doesn't have it.
Should have tried to freeze that thing.
Yeah, I had kind of tunnel vision. I kind of wanted to get to the save point.
As I can tell.
But anyways, guys, made a quick little bit of progress. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.